started reading the book, The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. Like lots of people have read this book, right? It's a very good book per se. From like everybody else that I've like watched, Alex Hormozi, Dan Coe, they have talked about pieces of information from this book in their videos. I didn't know it at that time, but like I remember what they said, and when I'm reading the book, I think about it. I'm like, hey, I heard this before. But nonetheless, I just want to talk about the 3 forms of leverage, right? That's something Alex Hormozi talks about, and like lots of high-end business guys, they talk about. They understand how to make lots and lots of money, how to actually get wealthy, not just like rich or like quick cash or whatever, because they understand leverage more than anything, right? Most people are poor because they're stuck in the lowest form of leverage, which is trading time for money, right? And this is not even one of the levers. I'm just having to explain this, right? If you trade your time for money, you will never get rich because your income is dependent on your inputs rather than your outcomes, right? So output, sorry. So put in a certain amount of time. Typically, if your hourly 100%, right, and salary typically putting in the 40 hours or whatever, you put those in order for you to get paid, right? But you're not getting, whether you make the company $100,000 or $10,000, it doesn't matter, right? Because your income isn't dependent on the output, right? And like people who are in revenue generating positions, which are the best positions to be in, like salesmen, they control the revenue and therefore they make the most amount of money, right? If they sell a lot, they make the company a lot of money and therefore they get paid a lot. Middle office or back office, they make no money. Or back office is typically just handling like accounting and like things that don't really even contribute to the revenue, but it's needed for the business to operate. And middle office is like just dealing with back office and front office. But front office is like sales guys. These guys are making the revenue. Software developers, software engineers, these guys are making the company money and therefore they get paid. You get paid in proportion to the problems you solve. So if you're solving the problem of revenue, it's not a problem. It's like that's the position you're working under. You're obviously gonna get paid a lot. So if you're gonna have a job, try to be in a sales position. And if you know you don't want to work a job continuously and you're an hourly or salary, you need to get out as soon as you can, because it's just, you're never gonna get rich or wealthy that way, because your money will always be dependent on your time. And to talk about the 3 forms of leverage, all that was a prerequisite, right? The first one is human capital, right? So if you get humans to work for you, this is like the worst type of capital. It's you see it very often, right? It's just like a CEO is essentially putting together a bunch of human capital, and he's using it as human labor to make the company grow, make the company operate, make the company money, therefore, right? And so this is not that good because, humans aren't that consistent. They only work a certain amount of time. You have to pay them a lot, you have to pay them whatever you have to pay them. And it's like, it's not very scalable, right? Because you can only have so much humans come and work for you. You can only operate with so much people. There's so much things involved, right? And the second one is capital leverage, right? Which is like using money to make money, right? And you will see this with like investment bankers, or like, if I know this personally, but like I know a group of people who will all pull their money together. One guy will invest it in like a real estate. He'll sell the house and then he'll make a huge profit. He'll keep that money and then he'll put money back into the pool, right? So if they all gave in 100,000, that one guy takes 500,000, he sells the house for 700,000, he collects 200,000 and he puts 100,000 back in for the next 5 years or whatever. And every guy does that, right? When you're able to pool money together, you have a bigger magnitude of capital, and therefore you're able to make bigger investments and make bigger returns. And so if you're able, that's literally what all people who like manage capital, like high finance, that's all what they really do, right? They're managing capital, they're taking everybody's money, right? And then they're able to put it into some sort of like vehicle that will give them some sort of return, and then they give everybody a little bit portion of it, and then they keep the rest, right? But the highest form of leverage that he talks about, and it's relatively new, right? He talks about it like it's relatively new in terms like it has only come out like in the last century or so, is media and code, right? And I just wish somebody told me these things when I was younger, so then I could have focused on these things, because let's be honest, nobody's going to work a job because they're super passionate, they really care about this and that. It's no, you want to make money and you want to get rich, you want to get wealthy, right? And it's like, that's what I wanted. So if I had focused my time on media and code, they don't really train you for that in school, but it would have been nice to have learned even a little bit, or at least took the courses or lessons online, because everything's online now anyway. But just understand media and code, and just to break it down, why it's because it's scalable. It's a product with no marginal cost when you're duplicating it, right? So all you do is make it once and then you sell it forever, right? Code, think of like software. So Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, right? And the media is like YouTube, Twitter, movies, books, anything like that, right? You make these things once and then you sell it forever, right? You make one YouTube video, it's on your page forever. You make Microsoft and you continue to, sell it to everybody. Amazon is always there, right? All you do is like refinement, so you just make it better and better and better over time. In media, you make yourself better, so you therefore make the videos you make better, the books you make better, or whatever. And in code, you make the code stronger, you fix errors or whatever they do in code, right? Coding is a little bit more complicated, but if I feel like if I had spent my time learning how to code, after 3-4 years or whatever, I probably would be pretty good at code, right? But it's like with media is the front end, code is the back end. If you really don't like code, I think media is so important. Hence this video, right? You need to start building your personal brand. You need to start building out your media skills, right? And that means writing, editing, being articulate, being an effective communicator, understanding human psychology, being persuasive, understanding digital marketing, understanding sales, understanding how to build products, right? If you're able to, and the products can literally be courses, books, movies, videos, VSLs, whatever it may be, right? You need to understand that you need to be good at media, because the reason why it's the highest form of leverage, I already said it, but it's like you make it once and you sell it forever. So and with the internet, you have so much reach because you're hitting the global market, right? It's not like when you're building a store, if you have like a storefront, a brick and mortar, the only people you're really reaching is a local market. But when you're on the internet, when you make videos, when you sell books, you can literally ship it anywhere. People from any country around the world can watch it. So you have such incredible amounts of reach that you're able to scale like crazy amounts. You're able to make lots and lots of money or whatever that you want, right? You're able to help a lot of people. You're able to provide a lot of value. But just understand those two things: code and media. Focus on one, and you can literally skip human capital and financial capital. Focus on media and code. Get good at one of them, and you'll have leverage in the future. And when you have that leverage, you're going to be able to multiply your income just simply by scaling through the internet. Learn media and code, and then we're going to win.